आदमी स्पीकर कुछ लेके दो
Chiaramente, recetto tra i guni, ciuga, ishe malaska na ciu, to padalya thank you. Mai tumu ke shahidan bichyan laspi, na, to kana, tiga kanjane, tiga like to balochi shemawat, kana kana, वो लास्ट में हाँ
ये प्रॉब्लम हम लोग कैसे टेबल्स रहे हैं पर अंदर पॉइंट चार है ना ये करने कुछ डॉल भी थी
नाम कहीं लेकिन
Zali Wali. Zali Wali. Ini kadang Zali Wali. ZLI बड़े जली वाली कौन है?
जली वाली
Z जली बड़े तो J पे में कौन है यानी जली वाली. हाँ ओके.
जली है ना
तो जली लिखने में तो कि जली कौन है?
मैंने शुरू का शार्लोट किया है
शार्लोट क्या तो मस्त है. ओके अगर अभी कहते हैं जो वाला
Yes, she has the link and yes, she's available to do the first.
इधर हम नशे करते हैं तो बड़ा पढ़ाई तो यार करते हैं
ओके. अच्छा ओके.
इंडिया मंडूटा में
ओके.
फॉर्मेट हम बोलते हैं
شما دیما nereden?
क्षेत्र
En dat vond ik dan wel goed, want de commissie had een tekst op die zei van, met de dus want je bent ja, maar ik heb dat eens, de mensen zelf, de politie wel. Dus dan weet ik dat ik weet van zijn. Dus op internet is dat iets er zijn al verschillende die zijn van die bedrijven. Bijvoorbeeld products bijvoorbeeld, met een risicocampagne bezig. Omdat dit al niet veel precies is, al 4 keer gebeurd is. Zij zijn ook al toegelicht geweest. De eerste keer was dat dus dat is niet leuk om zo'n dingen aan te doen. Twee-stapsverificatie. Ik weet niks mee doen. Is dat
Manila post di latte markunde diyema beninde. Şuma beninde şastrike. Beninde beninde. شو بيها من شما شما بيها
Che dannai bevuti conscienza benindi come che col sangatani phone silent mana che diwana disturbance ci sevi ma diwana nu bendat kana. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Baloch National Movement, I warmly welcome you to this important International Conference on Balochistan, a land of resilience, history, justice, and self-determination for the Baloch people. We are honored to have with us a distinguished panel of speakers, leaders, advocates, and voices of truth who have dedicated their lives to defending human dignity. I would like to take a solemn moment with the deepest respect the sacrifices of our martyrs who gave their lives for the freedom, dignity, and future of our motherland, Balochistan. I kindly request everyone to rise and join us 2 minutes of silence in their honor. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We are indeed privileged to host such an extraordinary gathering Before we proceed, I'd like to acknowledge that this conference is not just an exchange of ideas, but a platform of solidarity. Our panel today includes voices from Balochistan itself, from the broader global human rights community, and from independent media. We will also be joined online by one of our speakers, ensuring that our discussion is truly international in scope.
To start with the event, I would like to call Wahid Baloch, the Vice President of Baloch National Movement, Netherlands chapter, to welcome the guests and present a presentation on Balochistan. Wahid Baloch. तरह ज़रूरत नहीं आई है ना ऐसे चलिए
First of all, I would like to welcome you all, the International City of Peace and Justice. A special welcome to our guests who have traveled from different parts of the region, and a heartfelt greeting to our Central Chairman of the Baloch National Movement, Dr. Naseem Baloch, along with the Foreign Secretary of BNM, Wajah Fahim Baloch. I also express my sincere thanks to the dedicated members of Baloch National Movement for their tireless efforts in organizing this event. On this occasion of this important day, we have prepared a presentation for you all. Please turn your attention on the screen, where our team has put together an informative visual story to mark this day. 11th August, the day our free state was transferred into occupied land.
प्रेजेंटेशन का पीडीएफ रूप में बुक की बड़ी निशानी है जाने के बाद स्लाइड करते हैं
Balochistan, the land of unity from independence to occupation. Why we struggle? Why Baloch people are struggling? Because Balochistan is not a province. It is an occupied homeland. Our fight is for our national survival, dignity and sovereignty. Since the forced annexation in 1948, 5 armed uprisings have erupted, proving the Baloch have never accepted Pakistani rules. Our independence has stolen on 11th of August 1947. The Khan of Kalat declared independence. Recognized by Pakistan's founder in March 1948, the Pakistani military invaded and occupied our land. Generations of resistance from Prince Abdul Karim's 1948 guerrilla war or today's political and armed struggle. The fight for freedom has never stopped. Our rich land plundered. Our gas, gold, copper, and coastline are stolen to fuel Pakistan's economy while our people live in poverty. Sui gas is an example. Sui gas has powered Pakistan since 1958, yet Dera Bukti families still cook with firewoods. Our culture is under threat. The occupation seeks erase Baloch identity by suppressing both national languages, Balochi and Birawi. We have two spoken languages in Balochistan. No public schools in Balochistan teach the Balochi, even our Birawi. The both languages are absent from schools. Foreign exploitations. Pakistan sell our land and resources to foreign powers without the will of Baloch, without the consent of Baloch. From Chinese control of Gwadar to multi-mining and Rekodik. Gwadar's free zone fencing has blocked local fishermen from their familial waters. Life under occupation. Military checkpoints, enforced disappearances, and mass graves are daily, and it's reality. This is not a security. They call this is a security. This is not a security. It's a war on Baloch Nation. Human rights groups documented over thousands of cases of enforced disappearances since 2001. Thousands of people are victims of enforced disappearances. We know where they are. They are in the Pakistani torture cells. We know where they are. Our martyrs and exiles, our leaders, activists, and students pay the ultimate price for freedom. Nawab Akbar Khan Bukti was assassinated in 2006. Karima Baloch, a well-known personality, was found dead in Toronto. Sajid Hussain, a well-known face, a journalist, found dead in Sweden after years of independence advocacy. Our goal is clear. We demand a free, sovereign Balochistan, control over our resources, and the right to decide our own destiny. What we expect from the world. The call to the world, we urge the international community to recognize Pakistan's occupation and support Balochistan's right to self-determination. That concludes my presentation. I hope you found it informative, and thank you for your attention. Long live Free Balochistan, Azad Balochistan, Zindabad.
Thank you so much, Wahid Baloch. This was Wahid Baloch. Wahid Baloch is himself a victim of enforced disappearance. His brother has been forcibly disappeared in 2009. Zakir Majid, a well-known figure one of our leaders, teachers, who taught us how to fight for justice, how to fight for dignity. He was representing Balochistan right now, the resilience, the fight, the resistance, the motivation that he showed. Every Baloch soul holds it right now in the fight of independence. Now I would like to call one of our youngest but the strongest speakers of today, Muhammad Muhim Baloch, on the stage.
Thank you, Lord. Ik wil graag onze gewaardeerde gasten, de voorzitter van Baloch National Movement, Dr. Nassim Baloch en alle aanwezige leden bedanken. Het is fijn dat u hier bent om deze belangrijke zaak te steunen. Op 11 augustus 1947 riep Balochistan zijn onafhankelijkheid uit. Zij wilden zelf hun land besturen en vrij zijn. Maar op 27 maart 1948 nam Pakistan Balochistan met geweld over, zonder rekening te houden met wat de Baloch wilden. Sinds die tijd hebben die mensen in Balochistan veel geleden. Er zijn militaire acties, mensen verdwijnen gedwongen en mensenrechten worden geschonden dagelijks. Die Pakistanse veiligheidstroepen zoals FC gebruiken geweld om mensen die om vrijheid en rechtvaardigheid vragen het zwaaien op te leggen. Toch blijft de geest van die Baloch sterk. Wij streven naar vrijheid, zelfbestuur en het recht om onze eigen land en hulpbronnen zelf te gebruiken. Wij willen een toekomst waarin wij zonder angst en met respect en eigen keuze kunnen maken. Het verlangen naar een onafhankelijkheid Balochistan komt voort uit de overtuiging dat elke volk recht heeft op vrijheid en zelfbestuur. Het negeren van deze rechten zorgt voor veel pijn. Maar verstrekt ook deze vastberadenheid van de Baloch om hun vreedzame strijd voort te zetten. Het is belangrijk dat de wereld deze strijd erkent en helpt te zoeken naar een rechtvaardigheid en vreedzame oplossing, gebaseerd op respect, gesprek en mensenrechten. Ik sluit af met een citaat van Nelson Mandela. Hij zei, mensen hun mensenrechten ontzeggen is hun menselijkheid ter discussie stellen. Dankjewel. Long live Balochistan, Azad Balochistan.
Thank you so much, Muhammad, for joining us. Our next speaker is from our sibling nations who shares the same pain, similarly oppressed by the Pakistani regime. Jali Wali, she is a member of the advocacy committee of PTM Pashtun Tahaffuz movement in Europe and member of executive committee PTM Holland. I welcome you, Jali Wali.
Just wait a minute. How do I do this?
Just keep it. Or you can hold it with your thumb.
No, it is too much.
Yeah, that's okay. I will just
No,
keep it.
stick it here. No, it's okay. First of all, in the name of Allah, the most beneficial and the most merciful, distinguished ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, first of all, thank you very much for inviting us to your very important event of today. My speech will be on behalf of PTM Holland and PTM, the whole PTM actually, internationally, in this event. And today I try to provide a clear, face-backed overview of the key issues surrounding Balochistan. My intention is to remain focused and verifiable information rather than emotional appeal. Due to shortage of time, I have used multiple reports and investigative sources. First of all, when I got the title of this today's event will be like the silence of the international community about the quest of Balochistan and Pashtun lands. Of course, we all know. I would like to read this paragraph for you. According to an in-depth investigation of South Asia Press, elements of the Pakistani establishment and military have organized and supported the so-called death squads, essentially private militias tasked with targeting political activists and Baloch nationalists. We have seen the work of these militias at Pashtun lands as well. As you know, for last year, they killed Gilaman Wazir with the same squad and the same action, and how they were treated and trained for those threats. It is extensively explained in the Indian media as well how those militia works, and it is for us as a suppressed nation. It is horrible to know that those squads are working with dead trainings, like they killed Osman Kakar a few years ago and Gilaman Wazir last year. The trick, and they are trained to kill people. After the attack, the victim will be dead, not immediately. That is what they are trained for. They attack and the victim is not dead right away, because it will be internationally a huge responsibility for them. The victim will be killed from 48 to 72 hours. They know exactly how to attack the victim. They did that with Osman Kakar, they did that with Gilaman Wazir, and we don't know who else will be the next. Well, of our nation or your nation, whoever, we are brother nations, doesn't matter actually. I just wanted to mention about the death squad. The report detailed how these squads, some led by former insurgents turned collaborators, have operated since early 2010s. Specific names such as Major Nadeem Abbas Bati are cited along the photographic evidence showing him with armed teenagers. They are using teenagers also. These units alleged work in close coordination with an army to intimidate and eliminate dissent. They are not only working with teenagers, they are also working with drug addicts. They are paying the drug addicts to commit such crimes. Of course, they will also be always in the backstage, but the drug addicts will commit those crimes for them. The engineered illusion of Balochistan. An article in Sri Lanka Guardian framed the political narrative around Balochistan as an engineered illusion. This refers to the deliberate shaping of public perception, both domestically and internationally, to present the region unrest and isolated. They want to show the people that Balochistan is extremist externally and sponsored with establishment, and it's minimizing the local political grievance of demands for autonomy. Such narratives control plays to role how policies and justify and how military operations are portrayed. Let's come to the August 11th, a contest, Independence Day. The Free Balochistan movement marked 11th of August, Independence Day, of part of Balochistan. Historically, accounts cited by the FBM, Free Balochistan movement, indicate that 1947, following the end of British colonial rule, Balochistan declared independence. However, on 27th of March 1948, Pakistan annexed the territory military. The FBM and other pro-independence groups now observe March 27th as Black Day to commemorate what they regard as the loss of sovereignty. The ongoing human rights abuses. Reports by the Human Rights Watch and other observers document allegation of enforced disappearances, torture, extrajudicial killings carried out by Pakistani security agencies, including the ISI and the Frontier Corps. Victims often include students, journalists, suspected nationalists. The so-called kill and dump tactic, where bodies of missing persons are found in remote areas, has been reported for years. The Pakistani government routinely denies these allegations and attributes the unrest and terrorism and foreign interferences, yet accountability remains rare. The comparison, this part will be the comparison between the two nations of Baloch and Pashtuns. The comparisons Pashtun and Baloch in Pakistan. While the Baloch struggle is often characterized as demand for outright independence, the Pashtuns' experience shares certain parallels, particularly allegations of military access and political marginalization. Pashtuns concentrated in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and former federally administrated tribal areas, or FATA, have been large-scale military operation under and the pretext of fake counter-terrorism. These have resulted in civilian casualties, displacements, and destruction of properties, enforced disappearances, looting of our national resources, and much, much more. The Pashtun Tahaffuz movement, much like Baloch nationalist groups, has called for an end to enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, judicial killings, halt to looting our resources, multiple exploitation of Pashtun lands, and landmines in their areas. The PTM leaders have also faced unlawful arrests, imprisonment, torture, persecution, and restriction of their public gatherings. Baloch, in contrast, have experienced not just counterinsurgency, but also deep-rooted economic and political exclusion, despite the resources, wealth, and their province. Here, military crackdowns are often intertwined with suppression and separatist sentiment. In both cases, narratives portraying dissenters as anti-state or foreign agents have been used to discredit grassroots governance and justify heavy-handed policies. We both nations are deprived from our identity. As our brother mentioned, that there is no school in their mother tongue in Balochistan, nor Balochi or Barabi. The same is in Pakhtunkhwa with Pashto. There is no school in Pashto. Lately, there has been a school, but they are not, the accreditation is not high enough to be graduated from those schools. The core similarities lies in the use of military force and scrutinizing the handle political demands. The core differences in the scope of political objectives, autonomy with Pakistan, or for most Pashtun activists versus independent for many Baloch movement. This will be like, this was the summary of our, that we have the same points and the same fate in the region. That's why we have to stay strong, and of course our struggle also contains a part about that we have to support each other. In the past, I remember that the Balochs were coming to Afghanistan, and they were not fully supported by the Pashtuns, by the Afghans in addition, but thanks to PTM, thanks to our beloved leader Manzoor Ahmad Pashtin, he has time and time again, he said that we are brothers and we have to support the contact with each other, we have to support the groups abroad and in Pakhtunkhwa and in Balochistan. So that's why we will stay with you guys together. We will support your struggle. We are together. We are one. And Zindabad Balochistan.
Can I hold this, please?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jolie Wali. Our next speaker, Mr. Fahim Baloch, served as international representative of the Baloch National Movement. In this role, he has worked tirelessly to build bridges between the Baloch struggle and the global community. Through his diplomatic engagement and advocacy, Fahim has ensured that the plight of the Baloch people is understood on the world stage. His work reflects the mission of the BNM, uniting the Baloch people and seeking solidarity from the international community. I welcome you, Mr. Fahim Baloch.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the date 11th of August 1947 comes in my mind, so I feel a proud movement when we could say, I am Baloch and Balochistan is my country and we are an independent country. But this struggle, the history of Balochistan, the invasion of Balochistan is not just from 1947. It started on 13th of November 1839 when British Empire invaded Balochistan. So today I'll be more focused to talk about the history. How was the history and what are the differences today between the Baloch nation? Before 13 November 1839, Balochistan was a democratic country. When British Empire invaded Balochistan, so the first attack was on the democracy of Balochistan. If we see the history of Balochistan, a tribal system, a tribal structure we had. And the tribal chief wasn't the son of Sardar, or son of Sardar. So they were democratically elected. The most educated, the most brave, and the most competent person used to be the head of that tribe. But what the British Empire did with us, they changed it. Instead of that democratic process, son of Sardar started becoming the next Sardar. Rather he was educated or not, competent enough to lead the nation or not. So this was the first process when our democratic system was destroyed. I'll not go in deep in detail about those all things. Then I'll directly jump to 11th of August 1947. Baloch nation resisted until and unless till 11th of August 1947 when the British Empire left Balochistan. The Baloch nation, when was resisting, so they didn't resist only for themselves. In the history, very limited you will see the kings of the countries have sacrificed their lives. On 13th of November 1839, the king of Balochistan was strong enough on his stand not to be enemy of our neighbors Afghanistan. They stood with Afghan nation and they gave their lives. They didn't allow the British government to pass by and invade or disturb Afghanistan. So this was the history of neighborhood of Baloch with their neighboring countries. When on 11th of August 1947, Balochistan gets its independence from the British Empire, with a short time of period, the Baloch enjoy their freedom. But unfortunately, on 27th of March 1948, once again, the unfortunate day comes when every Baloch in Balochistan, sitting anywhere of the world, mourns that day when our beloved country was occupied. So then we come from that day, what changed from the Baloch nation's perspective? A democratic country? A liberal country? There was justice. Even in the time of British Empire, the Balochi culture system, the tribal system, Jirga systems were there. They were producing justice. They were giving justice to the people. The lands were not belong to specific people. For example, if you used to go in Jalawan, so they used to say, these lands belong to these specific tribes, not any specific person. If you go to Sarawan, so you would say, these lands belong to specific these tribes. Today, the world talks about the communism, togetherness, and land for all. Baloch nation has been doing these practices for thousands of years, not for 1 or 2 days. When we talk about the women's rights in Baloch culture, if any kind of war is going on in Baloch culture, if a woman comes in between, the war used to stop. Many of the decisions were taken when women used to intervene in that. The minorities were safe. They could easily practice their religion. Whatever they had the religion, there was no issue in Balochistan. So everyone had freedom of speech over there. But now we come after 1947. Now Balochistan is invaded. Even so-called democratic process in Balochistan, it goes on. Even one of the chief minister gets only 500 votes and he becomes the chief minister of Balochistan, means 0.03% votes in that elections. But still those are rigged. In Quetta city, the winner gets 3,000 votes. So which is just only 4 or 5% of the elections, and still those are rigged. And if we talk about the current elections, still no one knows who has won the election and who has not yet. So the democratic process of Balochistan has now come in a situation where I would not say it's a democracy, even it's a nut and pig. So just like close your eyes in the morning, you are elected representative, in the evening you are. Now everyone is confused, who is the elected representative of Balochistan? When we talk about the women's rights, a Balochistan, in most of the still region of Makran, the child is not known by his father's son name. They are recognized by their mother's name. In Gawadar region, in most of the Makran region, means as much a women had value. But today, they are forced to stay at home. The Baloch liberal culture, which used to give respect to everyone, no, it has totally been changed. The minorities, they used to say, I had many friends in Quetta city. So they were proud Hindu Baloch, Christian Baloch. But today, they have no other option to leave Balochistan. They are forced to convert their religion. I would not say specifically in Balochistan. In Sindh, there are areas. Young girls are abducted. And they are forced to marry 50-year-old man. And what is the reason? A 14-year-old girl got in love with 50-year-old man, with old man. And what happens next? She is produced in the court and she is threatened. If you don't say whatever we are saying, so most probably rest of your family members will be killed. So this is the culture Baloch has gotten from Pakistan. And the most important, a society cannot exist until and unless there isn't justice. So a few days back, I was listening to the speech of Marang. She was saying, I'm exposing the judiciary of Pakistan. As Bhagat Singh exposed the judiciary of British Empire, today I'm exposing their judiciary system. Just for any speech, I would not talk about 3MPO law or others. So just recent remands, just for speaking. If anyone is involved in a killing, so that person can go up to 21 days on police custody. What did she do? Arrest of her friends? Just they spoke for the rights, for the missing people. So nearly for 50 days, they have been on the remands. So it is an example everyone knows. Jamal is with us. He was a young boy. Why was he abducted? What were the reasons? Dr. Naseem Baloch, our chairman, 2 times he was abducted. So what did he do? When he was released first time, he was a professional doctor with rest of the Baloch leaders. So what were the charges? They had stolen some kettles. I don't know what was that. A television. He had stolen some televisions. After a few months in the torture cells, so this is a level of state, their judiciary system. I was working with one of the human rights organizations. So when our president was killed, Chairman Ghulam Ahmad, so I was part of that fact-finding mission. So we went and investigated that because government of Pakistan was claiming that they were abducted by Iranian forces and they were killed in Iran. So Human Rights Commission of Pakistan investigated that case. So when we went to that judge, so we came to know judge had told them to their legal team, oh, they have been abducted, no, wait for a few months. After a few months when they will be released, so we'll give them another date. So judiciary system knows very well. Khan Mahmud Baloch, a political activist, a charity worker who was working for the promotion of education. High Court of Balochistan says, I need this person by tomorrow in my court. So the next day is hanging dead bodies found in the Quetta city. So these are the atrocities and failure of Pakistani judiciary system. Ali Wazir, a big example for everyone. What does he say? He's talking about the terrorists. He says we want peace in our region. He didn't ask for money. He didn't say just give us roads. He says we want peace. Today the families of Baloch missing persons sitting in Quetta, Karachi, Islamabad, in Makran region, what are they asking for? They're asking for jobs. They're asking for businesses. What are they asking for? Simply they have got one question: bring our beloved ones back. Wahid is the elder brother. 2009 and 2025. It's a big gap. If we lose our just one pan, we get worried where my pan is. So can someone imagine a feeling of a mother If I tell my example, one of my cousin was abducted. Like this, thousands of stories are there. So their mothers didn't used to close their doors at night. They used to keep it in their mind, tomorrow, maybe at night my son comes and knocks at the door, and door is closed and he goes back. So they don't care it's winter or summer. They keep their doors opened. So this is what we got after 27th of March 1948. So together we are here, and we have to promise with ourselves, and thank you our distinguished guests, they have come. I hope they will join hands with us to bring change, not only for the people of Balochistan, living in Balochistan, only a change for the world, where we talk about democracy, we talk about women's rights, we talk about children's rights, we talk about climate change. So this we all, if we get together, so we can bring this change. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Fahim Baloch. Fahim Baloch is one of the strongest voices of Balochistan, and we appreciate his struggle to bring all these injustices on Baloch people in front of the international arena. As he was talking about the enforced disappearances, the feelings, emotions that Baloch people go through, I recalled one of the videos as he was talking about the mothers of those who were forcibly disappeared. I heard a mother saying that as we are majority Muslims in Balochistan, she was saying that in Islam, they say that the most painful moment is death. They say, but imagine that I die every single moment recalling my son. These words can shatter our souls. They are going through it every day. It's not about 1 minute, 1 hour, but it's about years and years, and their doors are open to welcome their sons. Thank you for your speech, Fahim Baloch. Our next speaker for today is Mr. Andy Vermouth, a Brussels-based journalist and human rights defender known for his investigative courage and commitment to uncovering the truth. Andy has reported on conflicts, political repression, and human rights abuses across different continents. His work is driven by the belief that journalism should serve as a shield for the vulnerables and a voice for the voiceless. His presence here today underscores the role of the free press in defending freedom and justice. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Put it here somewhere. Thank you. First, I want to feel the energy. When I say 1, 2, 3, I want you to shout, Balochistan will be free. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I will, thank you very much. Yes. Salam alaikum. In 1948, the state of Kalat was the heart of Balochistan. It was taken by Pakistan. Its elected parliament dissolved. Its flag lowered. Its voice stolen. The leaders has asked for independence. And they were promised respect. But instead came occupation. That year, Prince Abdul Karim Khan took to the mountains. It was the first resistance. Not for gold, not for oil, but for the right to decide their own destiny. No grave can silence the voice of justice. No grave can silence the voice of justice. The 50s brought more uprisings. Each time the response was force. Villages in Jalawan and Sarawan were bombed. Crops burned, livestock killed, families left to starve. In the 60s, Nawab Nauros Khan led another revolt. He was promised safe passage for talks. Instead, he and his men were arrested. Several were executed. Naras Khan himself died in prison. The Baloch never forgot this betrayal. And I say again, no grave can silence the voice of justice. No grave can silence the voice of justice. In the 70s, we saw the largest insurgency yet. From 73 to 77. Tens of thousands of Pakistani troops entered Balochistan. Airstrikes hit Kolu, Derabukti, and Makran. Over 5,000 Baloch people were killed. Many more fled their homes. In the village of Chamalang, witnesses recall helicopters firing on fleeing families. Survivors walked for days to reach safety. Many never arrived. One elder from Kolu told me, we buried so many in those years that we had no more shovels, only our hands. And I say again, no grave can silence the voice of justice. No grave can silence the voice of justice. In the 90s, a darker war began. A war fought in shadows. Disappearances became the tool of state policy. Men taken from their homes. No warrants, no trials, no return. In Turbat, a young teacher named Jalil Reiki disappeared in 2009. His body was found 2 years later. Signs of torture. In Kuzdar, a father searched every police station for his son. He was told, we have no records. And 2 years later, his boy was found in a shallow grave. Hands bound, face mutilated. And I say again, no grave can silence the voice of justice. No grave can silence the voice of justice. In 2006 was a turning point. Nawab Akbar Bukti, a former governor, a tribal leader, a voice for the people, was killed in a military operation. The mountains of Derabukti are still whispering that loss. A witness said, when Bukti was killed, They thought they silenced us. Instead, they awakened the next generation. And in 2010, brought a new unspeakable horror. Mass graves in Kuzdar, Pangur, Awaram, bodies dumped without their names. Signs of torture on everyone. In 2014, the Voice for Baloch missing persons reported over 18,000 disappeared. 18,000 disappeared since the early 2000s. And many are still missing today. One mother in Quetta carrying a faded photograph told me, they took my son. They took my son in 2006. I have not seen him since. And every day I walk, because if I stop walking, I will stop breathing. And I say again, no grave can silence the voice of justice. No grave can silence the voice of justice. And Balochistan is rich. Gas from Sui, gold from Rekodik, copper from Saindak, wealth enough to light every home in Pakistan. But in Balochistan, there is darkness. There is hunger. There is unemployment. Fishermen in Gwadar are pushed aside for foreign trawlers. And farmers in Kech lose their land to mega projects they never agreed to. Students in Quetta are beaten for protesting. Journalists vanish after telling the truth. And in 2021, Sami Baloch walked over 1,000 kilometers to Islamabad. Her father, Dr. Deen Muhammad, was abducted in 2009. She said, every step is for him. I will not stop. Every step is for him. I will not stop. And the marches continue from Quetta to Karachi. Baloch women lead him now. Because when the men disappear, the women carry their voices. And I tell you this, history remembers. History records. And history judges. From Bangladesh in 1971 to South Africa under apartheid, to the Baltic states breaking free, oppression has an expiration date. The Pakistani state may believe it can erase a people, but it cannot erase their will. It cannot erase their culture. And the day will come when uniforms will not protect the guilty, when the disappeared will return home, or their killers will face justice, when Balochistan will speak again in its own voice, on its own land. And until that day, we will keep saying, no grave can silence the voice of justice. The historical timeline of human rights violations in Balochistan, Pakistan. As we said, the 27th of March, 1948, the state of Kalat was taken by Pakistan. Despite Baloch parliament vote for independence. Prince Abdul Karim Khan launched his first armed resistance. Then in 58 we had Nawab Naroz Khan's revolt. We had the military operations in Jalawan and Sarawan. And Naroz Khan promised safe passage, betrayed, imprisoned, several followers executed, and Naroz dies in prison. In 60s, we had the continuing operations, villages bombed in Kolu, Dera Bukti, Makran, livelihoods destroyed. And in 73 to 77, we had the largest insurgency. The provisional government from the Balochis dissolved. 80,000 troops deployed. Airstrikes killed 5,000 people, and thousands people displaced. Helicopters attacked fleeing families in Chamalang. And from the 80s to the 90s, we had the disappearances who began. First, systematic abductions without trial. Tortured bodies begin to appear. And from 2000 to now, policy of enforced disappearances. The surge in missing person cases. 2006, Nawab Akbar Bukti, killed in military operation. 2009, disappearances of Dr. Dean Muhammad, abducted from Kuzdar Hospital while on duty. From 2011 to 2014, mass graves discovered. Kuzdar and Totak, mass graves found. Over hundreds of bodies, most unidentified. And in 2014, 18 cases of enforced disappearances since early 2000s. From 2017 to 2019, we see the targeting of journalists and activists. And from 2021, Sami Baloch walks 1,000 kilometers. On the present day, we see students, fishermen, farmers face displacements, arrests and harassment. Women lead marches for missing persons. And behind every year in this timeline, there is a face. A mother holding the photograph, who fades a little more every day. A father digging in dry earth, hoping to find the son he last saw as a little boy. A child growing up with only a story instead of a parent's embrace. These are not numbers. They are names. They are stolen lives, stolen futures, stolen voices. The mass graves are not the pasts. They are the presents. It's an open wound that bleeds each day. And each day, the list of the missing grows longer. In Balochistan today, there is a generation that has never known peace. Only checkpoints, only fear, only silence after the knock on the door at night. But we are here, in this city of justice, to break that silence, to tell the world these crimes will not vanish in the dark. These families will not be abandoned. And this pain will not last forever. Because justice is not a gift. It is a duty. And the world has a duty to Balochistan. And I say to you, and I say it for the mothers who march, for the fathers who search, and for the children who wait. No grave can silence the voice of justice. No grave can silence the voice of justice.
Thank you so much, Andy, for your powerful speech. Now, joining us virtually, we have Ms. Charlotte, representing the Global Human Rights Defense. Charlotte is an outspoken advocate for justice and equality with a strong focus on regions and people facing systematic repression. Her work has brought international attention to human rights. Charlotte is joining us online. I'm trying to... Charlotte, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. We had some technical issues due to which we cannot put you on the big screen, but I've tried to somehow an alternative, which is sharing through the screen. Or I will share you, can you join another link because our colleague has also created one from the other laptop. Just give me a minute. तो उद्याच्या विषयी निकांगुडा या Alright, estaba excepto. Charlotte. Yeah, I just texted. Mute and you pachka.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you very much then. Dear friends, dear colleagues, and okay. Let me try that again. Always such a hassle with the IT these days. Thank you very much for your patience. Dear friends, dear colleagues, and fellow advocates, Assalamu alaikum. I am very honored to speak on behalf of GHRT today. I do not want to speak on behalf of the people of Balochistan today because I'm sure that you have heard and you will hear very powerful testimonies from them, and I implore you to listen to them carefully. Instead today I want to speak as a human rights lawyer and as a woman about the violations that we see occurring and about what can be done about them. Because when we talk about human rights violations, we often speak in terms of statistics. The numbers of people disappeared, the numbers of families displaced, the years of the ongoing conflict, but numbers can hide the human story. Because behind every statistic, as we've heard before, is a life. And often behind that life is also a woman holding a family together against almost impossible odds. And in Balochistan, women are not merely witnesses to the struggle, they are participants, they are survivors, and tragically, they are also targets. When a husband, a brother, or a son disappears, the loss is more than emotional. It's economic and it's social. It's the loss of security in one's own home. And forced disappearances don't just take a person away, they take the future that that person carried with them. And when women raise their voices, when they protest, when they march, or when they simply ask the question, where is my loved one? Too often they face intimidation, harassment, and sometimes even arrest. Incredible report, women being detained without charge, about their movements being restricted, and their activism framed as a security threat. Now, let me be very clear. These are not just unfortunate consequences of conflict. These are direct violations of international law. Pakistan has ratified the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. It has ratified the Convention Against Torture, and it has also ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And each of these treaties carry a specific legally binding obligation. This includes the obligation to protect life, the obligation to protect against arbitrary detention, to ensure equality before the law, and to safeguard women from violence and discrimination. Now, enforced disappearances are not simply a tragedy. They are also a crime under international law. And when this crime is perpetuated on a widespread or systematic claim, it can also amount to a crime against humanity. Now, I'm not here to make a political case for independence or sovereignty. My role, my lens is the law. And the law tells us very explicitly that no state has the right to use security as a shield against accountability. So then, what can be done? What can we do? The United Nations system certainly offers several tools. They are imperfect, yes, but they are real and they are tangible. And when used strategically, they can bring attention and pressure, and over time they can also bring change. First, there is the Working Group on Enforced or Involuntary Disappearances. Here, families can submit cases directly, And the working group then communicates with the state, so in this case with the state of Pakistan, asking for clarification and also urging for action. And importantly, these cases stay on the record until the person is found or their fate is clarified by the state. Then second, we have the special rapporteurs, who are independent experts appointed by the UN Human Rights Council. And the special rapporteurs exist for different topics. For example, the special rapporteur on violence against women, who can take up cases where women are harassed, detained, or threatened for their activism, but also the special rapporteur on human rights defenders, who can highlight the risks faced by lawyers and journalists and activists and anybody working on the issue of Baloch independence. Then third, Pakistan undergoes a universal periodic review every few years. And this is when states from all regions of the world review its human rights records. And civil society groups, including the Baloch diaspora, can make formal submissions that become part of the record. And that means that your concerns are not just heard, but officially documented in the UN system. And then finally, there's the Human Rights Council's complaint procedure, which is confidential, direct, and aimed at situations of consistent and gross violations. This may not yield instant results, but it ensures that the issue is formally recognized at the highest level of the United Nations. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. We've tried this before, we've spoken, we've protested, and the world still looks away. And that is the cruel truth of human rights work. It is often too slow, it's frustrating, and it's full of setbacks. But it's also the truth that international law is built on persistence. Each case filed, each testimony given, each report submitted, these are bricks in a wall of accountability that may take years to build, but once it is there, it is impossible to ignore. And here's something that I want to stress. In Balochistan, women are not just victims in need of protection, they are leaders in this fight for justice. Women who march in the streets despite threats, women who stand in front of press clubs holding photos of the disappeared, women who become, whether by choice or through necessity, the public voice of their communities. These women carry an extraordinary burden. And as lawyers and advocates, and as human beings, we have a responsibility to carry some of that weight with them. So today, as we gather here, let us remember that human rights are not a gift granted to you by governments. They are not privileges that can be withdrawn at will. They are entitlements. They are your entitlements, and they are rooted in the inherent dignity of every person. And when those rights are denied, whether this is in Balochistan or elsewhere, it is our duty to speak, to document, to challenge, and to persist. Because as we have seen, every disappearance has a name, and every woman who stands in protest has a story, and every time we bring those names and stories to the world, we chip away at that silence that allows the abuse to thrive. And this is also what we at GHRD stand very committed for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Charlie. Our last speaker, Dr. Naseem Baloch, is the chairman of the Baloch National Movement, a steadfast leader in the struggle for the rights and independence of the Baloch people. Dr. Naseem has been a central figure in political advocacy, grassroots mobilization, international representation of the Baloch cause. His leadership combines strategic visions with deep commitment to justice, human rights, and the preservation of the Baloch culture. Dr. Naseem's voice carries the weight of lived experience and the determination of a nation that refused to be silenced. I welcome you, Dr. Naseem Baloch.
दोबारा हिंदुस्तानी respected guests, friends, mothers and brothers, and members of the Baloch National Movement. Assalamu alaikum. Today, we are not merely attending a seminar. We are standing in the shadow of our history and in the light of our sacrifices. 11th August as we observe it today is not an ordinary day. It is the day when in 1947 the world recognized Balochistan as a free and independent country. It is the day when our flag flew freely, when our parliament was functional, and when our sovereignty was intact. But within just 7 months, that independence was crushed and snatched. Our homeland, rich in history, proud in culture, and strong in identity, was forcefully occupied by Pakistan. Not with our consent, not with our agreement, but with the guns, deceit, and betrayal. And since that day, in March 1948, we have not seen peace. We have seen only blood. We have seen only funerals. We have seen only graves. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak to you today not just as the chairman of BNM, but as a humble servant of a movement born from the tears of our mothers and from the blood of our martyrs. Every home in Balochistan has paid the price of occupation. Ask that mother who still waits at her door holding her son's picture, hoping the knock will bring him back. Ask the child who cannot sleep at nights because helicopters fly over their villages. Ask their sister who carries her brother's blood-stained shirt, found buried in a mass grave, not knowing how long he was tortured before his last breath. This is not history. This is today. And today, this pain has brought us together under the banner of Baloch National Movement, the BNM. BNM is not just a political party. It is the living continuation of the resistance started in 1948. It is the voice of Ghulam Ahmad Baloch, whose courage lit a flame in the hearts of thousands. It is the platform that has stood firm, without compromise, without fear, and without confusion, and said clearly, we do not want rights under Pakistan. We want freedom from Pakistan. That is the clear message from our party, BNM. We are not here to ask autonomy. We are not asking for positions. We are not struggling for the positions in the framework of Pakistan and its constitution or assemblies. We are here, we are gathered, we gather every time to talk and to take back what was stolen from us. That is our land, that is our dignity, and that is our future, which were forcefully stolen and snatched by Pakistan. Dear comrades, what keeps a movement alive through decades of torture and loss? It is not power, it is not money, it is the faith who keeps a movement alive. It is the faith in our cause, it is the faith in our people, it is the faith in our future which keeps our movement alive, and we see it today. This is the reason why, despite Pakistan has done enforced disappearances, mass graves, bombings, media blackout, despite all, we are still together, struggling, we are still here, we are stronger than ever. In these 7 decades of slavery and occupation, Pakistan has made Balochistan a slaughterhouse. As we are gathered in the Hague city known for justice, we say it here today that it is the responsibility of the world to come forward and listen to the people of Balochistan. The world should come forward and recognize the genocide in Balochistan. This world should come forward and help us exposing the war crimes of Pakistan being committed on daily basis. It is the responsibility of the world to stand with truth and power. And most importantly, it is the responsibility of the world to stand with us to regain our independence. As we talk of the independence and of the today's history, that is 11th August, this is not just a day of remembrance. Let it be a day of recommitment. We are gathered here to make a renewal of our commitment that we carry forward the sacrifices of our martyrs to a destination that is free Balochistan. As a member of BNM, we should ask ourselves, what more can we do for the freedom movement? If you are a youth, ask yourself, are you preparing yourself to lead in the future? If you are a writer in the Baloch nation, pick up your pen like a sword. As we are in diaspora, we have a responsibility also to organize, to mobilize, and to expose the enemy's crimes wherever we are. To continue this struggle, BNM has given us a platform. BNM is our home. BNM is our shield to protect the freedom of Balochistan. Let us rise as our ancestors did and complete the sacred journey, not for ourselves, but for those who are buried nameless, and for those yet to be born. In closing, let me say to the martyrs, to the mothers of the martyrs, that your sons did not die. They became the foundation of our freedom. Let me say to our youth, you are not powerless. You are the storm the enemy Pakistan fears of it. Let me say to every BNM member and activist, your work is powerful and it matters. Your loyalty matters. You are part of a historic mission. And let me say to the occupier, Pakistan, you can kill our bodies, but you will never kill our dreams. That dream has a name, and the name is Balochistan, a free, sovereign, and united Balochistan. Once again, I say thanks, all of you. Long live Balochistan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naseem Baloch. Thank you for your words, the encouraging words for every member of BNM. Thank you for your services. Thank you for your sacrifices that you gave for the people of Balochistan. And we hope and we know that you will continue until the freedom of Balochistan. I thank every one of you who has joined us today. Our session is, the conference is coming to its end, as Dr. Naseem Baloch was the last speaker. This conference might end in a few minutes, but this struggle will never end until we achieve what is ours, and that is free Balochistan. I also thank our ally organizations that they are always there to support us to organize such events which we have gathered here today, and all those who have joined. We are going to have a break right now. You can have snakes which are available behind, and after the break we will have a gathering with our members. Our members should stay, but all the guests can leave if they want, because the other session is going to be in Baluchi, and it will be hard for others to understand. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much for everything. You have my copy.